How's it going? David from Comic Book Investments, Unhinged. So what I have here, I have two boxes. You can't really see the other one, but it's over there. Two boxes. This right here is the very first ever graded PSA comic book order ever of all time. This is the very first one. I am customer number one, or whatever they call them, dealer number one, or seller number one, or I don't know, whatever they call them. But I am the first. And I'll explain why I am the first. Some people might guess, but that's not the reason why. That is not actually the reason why I'm number one. You might think, oh, it was because my dad works there. Nope, that's not why I'm number one. I'm number one because I'm the best. No, I'll tell you why I'm number one. But in here, we're going to go through all these boxes. And some of these are resubs from CGC. So we'll compare to see, how do they compare to CGC? Because I gave them a gamut of stuff. This is not everything. This is just the first batch I got back. I got them expensive stuff. This is like more modern, not modern. It's like more like, I think like 80s, 70s, and 90s stuff. So not brand new stuff. And then I have magazines. I gave them like just a bunch of stuff because I wanted to see how they do with just everything. How do they compare to everything? So I'll compare it to the grades that I thought they would get. I'll compare it to the grades that some of these were graded by CGC, what they gave it originally. And, we'll go through different things about it. I'll show you what they look like. There have been some updates to like the cases and things like that compared to when they first came out. And also recently, I'll talk about how my dad changed some things on it, the inside thing. But nonetheless, this is the very first stuff ever. No one will beat me. No one has beaten me. I'll be the very first one to get this stuff back. I'll talk about how many people were actually able to get stuff to CGC. And I'm going to sell these in an array of things. I'm going to sell some of these in our weekly auction. We do a weekly auction every single Sunday. And some of these will go in this coming up Sunday. And I want to see what kind of prices they get. I will also put some in the eBay auction. I want to see what kind of prices they get. And I'll also put some in our featured auction. I just kind of want to see what they get. Like, that's what I'm doing. I gave them a bunch of different things, and I want to sell it on a bunch of different platforms so I can get an idea of what they sell for. Are they comparable to if I put this in as a CGC book, same grade, same everything, and I put it in a 7-day eBay auction, we'll get roughly around the same price. That's why I want to compare. I'll put some as buy it nows, obviously, and I want to see if I can command the same price as a CGC. So that's what I'm going to do with all this stuff. So I'm the very first one to get stuff back. And so I haven't even opened these boxes yet. So it'll be interesting seeing what they actually look like now. And yeah, they'll be slightly different, probably mostly the same, but slightly different. So, and our featured auction is going to be on August 1st. So some of these will be in our featured auction. So you can pick up that as well. Let's get into this. I'll also show you how they pack it. So I'll probably be cutting or fast forwarding this. So you got paper on top. This is kind of how they look like. Paper there. It looks like they just kind of bubble wrap it and then put paper next to it. I'm just gonna put that out there. They have thin bubble wrap. So like, I know that a lot of people know that my dad's worked there, but honestly, I just want the best for PSA and him. And I will say that their packing needs to change. I will say that right off the bat, their packing needs to change. They have one, like, look, each one is wrapped basically in one piece of bubble wrap, and it's the thin kind. We do the thick kind, and everything gets double wrapped. So that needs to change. But these cases are much thicker, so maybe they won't break. Everything is shrink wrapped. That's interesting. So it's shrink wrapped. I'm seeing this for the first time too, so I'm kind of going through it. So that's interesting. I'm not sure why they have to shrink wrap. They have them in a plastic sleeve. The plastic sleeve is fine. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with this. I can't say. I don't know why they need to shrink wrap this stuff. Maybe it's so there's no fingerprints on it and it looks all nice and shiny. I think that will go away. I don't see the purpose of having this shrink wrap. I think it's a process that doesn't really need to happen. Looking at the cases. So yeah, let me open more of this and talk about that. And here's kind of what they look like. And then, yeah. Okay, so got them all unpacked and everything done. Like I said, I don't. So here's the thing. This is the very first order. So they will probably learn and improve a lot of things based off of feedback from people like me, other customers, things like that. I will say right off the bat, this is what, like maybe like 10 books or something right here. This is heavy. Like, it's really heavy. Like, it's like, I would say it's twice the weight of a CGC. It is really heavy. So maybe that's why they don't need as much packing material. But being as heavy as they are, they fit like maybe, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's probably like 10 per box. So I know PSA, when you get their cards, they have a custom-made box that all the little things slide into. I imagine comics will get a custom-made box as well. So when you buy comics from them, it's not going to be wrapped in bubble wrap. This is probably them just starting. Like I did what they call the soft launch, and basically they invited 5 different people. I thought they invited like hundreds of different people or something, but 5. The reason why they chose me is because, number one, I'm an influencer and also a dealer. And so I'm pretty sure I don't know the other people, but I'm pretty sure the only other people they chose were influencers, I think, like influencer dealers types. So those are the only other people got chosen. That's pretty much why I got chosen. They didn't choose other big dealers that weren't influencers. They only chose me because I'm basically both. So I have a unique set of skills, I guess. So they're going to improve. So their actual first launch, if you go to San Diego Comic-Con at their PSA booth, they will be accepting consignments. So you can go there and give them your comic books. So I'm not sponsored by PSA at all. I actually had to pay the same price as everyone else. So I didn't get any real discount. So, so this thing, I get why they're doing it, because they want it to look super nice and fancy and all that kind of stuff, and not have any, fingerprints from the people touching it. And I understand that, but I think it's a process that they don't do it on their cards. So I think it's a process that will go away. That's just my guess. I think they will get a custom box that will slide these in probably a lot better. That will probably come in, I don't know when, but if I had to guess, within like the next 6 months. So the case themselves, they're sturdy. They are strong. Like I said, these are twice the weight. I'll put one up here. I'm literally going through this for the first time too. So I'll put one up so you can kind of see it. I'll put up pictures. So another good thing that they do that I love is they scan all their books. So all their books, like I knew what the grades were going to be before, because they put the scanned picture up there, and I can see before they send them. So it's like one of the last steps. They have a nice little dot system that you can follow along everything they're doing. So I'll put up the scanned versions of these. I won't put up prices. I didn't price these out because I have to figure out what I'm doing with each individual one. But yeah, so I'm like looking at this. So they're in kind of like this little, so they have, it's going to be hard for you guys to see, but basically around here, they have like this inner well, and it's kind of like a little shelf thing. Doesn't slide around. The comic doesn't move at all. So it's pretty good. It's pretty tight against the edges. This thing is thick. It is bulletproof. I'll probably crack one of these out to see if I even can. I don't know if I can. I'm gonna have to like run this over with my car. Yeah, I don't know if you guys ever saw that test I did where I ran every case over with the car to find out which was the strongest. It's very clear. You can see the comic very, very, very well. So that's good. I don't know. Man, this thing is, I mean, it's a little right here in the middle, obviously, but on the edges, this thing is like, honestly, I have to ask how you even crack these open, because a lot of, one big business is resubbing comic books with graded stuff. So I don't know how you're going to do this. This is like, I know my dad told me that it's actually really easy. He said something like, I don't know. He said they have a special tool, but he says it's not as difficult as it looks. But I will say that, yeah, I I don't think anyone is going to be able to. Remember that whole thing with CGC and whatever it was where they were like switching out the labels? I don't think you're going to be able to do that with this. As far as the label goes, they updated the label. I think it looks better. I still think they need to do something over. It's just a little. Understand the PSA. That's how they are. And there's one complaint I had. I understand that their whole thing is they have these little wavy lines in there. It looks a little better up front in person. So that's kind of nice. It's like this little like wave thing. They could definitely maybe make this a little more cooler looking where the number is over here instead of all white, but it's fine. Yeah. So, I mean, it's fine. I mean, it looks fine. It's sturdy. It's nice and clean. You can see the comic very well. The label's much better than the original one. I still think there's room for improvement on the label, on the text itself. I still think there's some improvement there to be done. But that will come in time. I mean, how many times has CGC changed their label, CBCS, all that kind of stuff? So I think they'll listen to people and it'll change over time. Yeah. So yeah, I guess we can just go through this and kind of figure out what. I mean, these aren't really. I think they're in order. See, W, S, nope, W, U. Maybe it's how I pulled them out. I don't know. I think they're mostly in somewhat order. Okay, let's just do this one. Let's do this X-Men 101. Okay, so I thought, now I've already kind of researched this before. Like I said, I already knew the grades before, but I haven't seen the cases. And what I've come to conclude is it's all the same. It doesn't really matter. It comes down to, they're all very, very close. So this one was a CGC 8.0, and I got a 7.5. But I resubmitted it because I wanted a 9.0. So obviously both people thought it was not that. All right, what was this one? Wolverine 90. It's very shiny. This was one I just sent. 9.2. I thought it'd be about 9.4. Okay. Oh, let me see if they stack. Yeah, they stack. I like that. See? I can't move them. They stack nicely. Nicely stacked. Okay, let's do this one. And see, this is going to become a pain. All right. Wolverine 8. 9.6. What number is this? 8. Sorry. I thought it was a 9.8. It got a 9.6, but CGC gave it a 9.4. So, literally the same. Like, roughly around the same. Okay, there it goes. It has a little, like, a tab. All right. Star Wars Dark Empire #1. Like, I sent more expensive stuff than this. Like most things, and I've explained this before, whenever you send more expensive stuff, you're getting the more premium graders on it, and you're going to have a better understanding of. So on the higher end stuff that we sent in, they all came back roughly around what we wanted them to be, and which was kind of in line with what CGC was. This one I was hoping for a 9.4, and I got a 9.0. So unfortunate. It was a gold variant. Did they put the variants on there correctly? Yep, gold foil edition. Yeah, these aren't really in any order. Again, I'm the first one, so I expect things to change a little bit. Wolverine 10 in a 9.6. I wanted a 9.8. CGC gave it a 9.6. They gave it a 9.6. Like, it's always going to be roughly the same. And the thing is, it's going to break my table before it breaks the case. And the thing is, I mean, you've seen my do this millions and millions of times, and CGC is always off of what I think it's going to be, and I resubmit many, many times. I mean, how many of those videos have I done where I've resubmitted like 100 different books, and they all come back something different? Like, only like 10 or 15% come back the same. So, all right, Uncanny X-Men where is this? Uncanny X-Men 164 in a 9.6. Oh, here it is. I was hoping for a 9.8. I submitted this as CGC. It was a 9.6. They gave it a 9.6. See, it's all about the same. Okay. Canadian X-Men 145. I wanted a 9.8. CGC gave it a 9.6. They gave it PSA gave it a 9.6 as well. More garbage. Yeah, that's kind of got to go. I'm sorry. I'll talk to them. I don't see why. They don't do it on the cards. So if they don't do it on the cards, why are they doing it in the comics? I don't know. Maybe it's just like they want these to be the best because these are technically the first ones. I wonder which one of these was the very first one to get graded. Like I said, these serial numbers are like 11,800,000 and who knows what. So, unfortunate. What is this? Wolverine Limited number 1. All right. I wanted a 9.8. It got a 9.8. CGC gave it a 9.6. See? I mean, they're all in the realm. It's all in the realm. Zelda number 1. Like, that's the thing. With that Wolverine, I was going to resubmit that to get a 9.8 anyways. Like, that's what I was going to do. I pulled those apart because I was like, look, I want a 9.8 of this, and I think it's a 9.8. And, yeah, lo and behold, I got one. Legend of Zelda. I wanted a 9.8. They gave it a 9.6. And CGC also gave it a 9.6. So, they're the same. Let's go into the second stack. Okay. Spotlight. First, Spider-Woman in the 9.2. Spotlights, 32. I wanted a 9.2. It got a 9.2. And CGC gave it a 9.0. So that one did better. What number is this? Spawn 25, newsstand edition. They did put the newsstand edition. You know what? It just kind of like says it, and it's the same with like the variant. I know with CGC they bold it. They should do something like that. Remind me to talk to them. Like if it's a variant of some kind, either newsstand. That's kind of unfortunate. So I noticed something. You know how stuff they have it on the top. If you're looking at the top, you can't see this. You won't be able to see anyways. But CGC puts a sticker on top, and that's how you know what it is. This, I'm looking at it because of the type of plastic that they use at the top. You can't see it. So if I had this down, I'm trying to see. If I had this down, it's like, I mean, I can read it, but it looks like I'm looking through fogged glass, like up top, because this is a different plastic that's around, and CGC puts their sticker on top. That's how you can kind of see. Or that's how they did the old one. I can't remember how they did the current one. So it's definitely hard to see. It looks like I'm looking through fog glass. Like I can read, it says Spawn 25, 9.4. It doesn't say newsstand anymore. They need to put the newsstand. Like if it's a variant or a newsstand, they need to put that on top. So I need to write this list down to give it to them. And they need to bold, if it's like some kind of variant or a newsstand, something, because it says Spawn 25, October 1994 image. Okay, that's fine. But then it says like newsstand. Well, newsstand, this is like, it also says first appearance of Tremor and blah, blah, blah. But it says newsstand there. It needs to be bold. That needs to be bold. Or something. Or bigger. Look at all the space they have here. You can't really see, but look at all this space. They could just put it bigger if it's a newsstand of some kind or variant. I was hoping for a 9.8. They gave it a 9.4. CGC was a 9.6. So, it's all just, I mean, it's all roughly the same. Yeah. So, this one is a double cover after production, which I knew that was true. Because CGC gave it the same thing. Same grade, all around. Like I said, I was testing stuff. I want to see how good they are. All that stuff. Let's see. Spider-Man 240, 9.8. 240. They gave it 9.8. I wanted a 9.8. CGC gave it a 9.6. Here we go. Another one. Spider-Man 231. They gave it a 9.8. I wanted a 9.8. CGC gave it a 9.6. Astonishing X-Men 3. Married. Yep. Same as CGC. Astonishing X-Men. Or is this Amazing X-Men? Amazing X-Men. I wanted a 9.0. They gave it a 9.0. And CGC gave it an 8.0. But it's married. It says married. They should also change that too. That's one big complaint I had about CGC is no one's going to notice that married. No one. No one will notice that. Here's the thing. This is the same complaint I had with CBCS. And the same thing I told them. I get why they're doing it. Look, the only way I can tell is married is it's right there. Right there. Can you even see that up there? Are you ever going to look? And this is what's going to happen. People are going to buy this book not realizing it's married. I knew it going in. CGC obviously gave it a green label. That's the kind of beauty of having different labels. You just know right away. But CBCS did the same thing. But this is so small. No one's going to notice that. You're going to be buying stuff online, and you're not going to see it. And then you can say, well, it's your own fault for not noticing it. It's like, yeah, but with CGC, it just makes it so much easier. So someone will pay normal price for a married book and not even realize it. And then they're going to get mad. And who are they going to get mad at? Well, they might get mad at themselves, but they're probably going to get mad at PSA and say, why didn't you make it more obvious that this was married? They're probably going to do the same with like restored and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, they are against the different color labels. They're against that. But they need to make it more obvious. You can't have literally the tiniest font up in the corner and expect someone to notice it. They have to have it somewhere else. I'm sorry. It has to be, just like I think that newsstand or variant should be bold, you should put bold. Put bold. Bold the lettering. Make it bigger. And put like married, restored, color touch, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff on there. Do that. You got to. You just got to. I need to be writing this down. I'm going to have to rewatch this video so I can list my complaints. What is this? So, Spotlight 28. I thought this was a 9.6 to a 9.8. They gave it a 9.0. CGC gave it a 9.2. So, Spawn 15, newsstand, 9.4. Obviously, I thought this was a 9.8. They gave it 9.4. CGC gave it 9.6. So, oh, I dropped it. Spectacular Spider-Man 38. Let me see. Is it on here? I thought it was a 9.8. CGC and PSA both gave it a 9.6. So, I mean, they're all right next to each other. They notated the newsstand. Once again, unclear. Overall, okay, that's it. That's all of them. So let me just go through, I guess, my final thoughts. I'll know more once I sell them. What do they sell for? Again, these are all like modern books. Most of the grade differences won't really make much of a difference. Maybe if you did get that 9.8, that will make a difference. So that's like the key that I'm going to be looking for. So Wolverine Limited #1, that will be an easy book to. I know the grade range. There's so many of those sell, so I can put that up in an auction. Maybe I'll put it on an eBay auction just to see. I really just want to know the prices. I'm just more curious on what they get. So that'll be a good one. Some of these other ones, they're a little like a Spawn newsstand. That doesn't sell that often. Maybe some of the X-Men, it'll be a good idea, be able to see. But yeah, so some of these I'll be able to sell, I'm hoping pretty quickly. like the X-Men 101. Maybe I'll put that as a bite now, see if I can get the same price as I would if I got, a 7.5. I mean, originally that was an 8.0 and knocked it down to the 7.5. Might crack these out and send them to CGC. No, it's not really worth it. The amount of money they're paying to do it, it's fine. And plus I want to see how they sell. I have a bunch more. I have like a vintage next, and then I have a high grade, but those are done being graded, but they have not been delivered. I should get those in a day or two, I think. So yeah, overall, I mean, I like the sturdiness of the cases. The downside of them being heavy, as a person that ships it, we're going to have to charge more for shipping. So that is the downside to something like this. I don't know what this weighs, but it weighs more than a CGC book. It's probably 1.5 to 2 times as much. The plus side, it probably won't ever crack. CGC is notorious when they put their slabs together, they get little, like sometimes hairline cracks. And a lot of people are like, hey, it's cracked. I'm like, it's not cracked. That's how it was put together. So, yeah, this is a 9.6. There's a, what did I think it was, a 9.8? Yeah, it's a 9.6. I can see the thing right there. Yeah, so are these graded fairly? Yes, I think they're graded fairly. They're graded accurately. Yeah, so I think they're graded fairly, graded accurately. Like I said, they're all going to be roughly the same. I mean, there's countless videos with cards. There's like 1,000 different grading services, and you can send. I've seen people send them the same card to like 5 different grading services, and they all get different grades. And yeah, that's the thing. Is grading is subjected by the person that's looking at the book at the time, and that's just this is how it is. Eventually, AI will come and it will get the same grade every time. But comics are hard because you have internal pages. It's not just the covers. So yeah, this is fair. This is like, the grades are fair. They're definitely where I would think they would get. Let's see what else I can say. So it's just kind of come down to the prices. I think what's going to happen though is CBCS is not going to exist in a couple years. I've said that before. I just don't think there's enough room for 2 big players. And the difference between like PGX and CBCS is a much bigger company. I think PGX is just like someone out of his house type of thing. So they have like, staff and all that kind of stuff. So they can't weather the storm if they get smaller. PGX is just one person or maybe 2 people. So yeah, cases are good. Yeah. So I don't know. Let's see how they sell. That's awesome that I was the very first person to get them in, and I'm glad I could show them to you guys. Overall, I mean, it's hard to say. It really comes down to is how they sell. Like if it was a CBCS book, I already did a video on it. You're getting anywhere between 10 and 25% lesser value of the exact same grade as a CGC book. I think I did the math. Overall, it's about 15% you're looking at a difference. Really depends on the book, but roughly if you have a higher end book, wherever that Wolverine 1 Limited was, if you had that book, if it was CBCS, you're probably getting on average 15% less than you would if it was a CGC book. So what it comes down to is, what are you going to get on those books? Are you going to get the same? If you get the same, then it's fine to send them to the PSA and it's totally fine. But if you don't get the same, aftermarket price, and that's when I had meetings with them years ago, I told them, like, this is the biggest thing. This is the only thing that matters. You can make the case all nice, you can make this and that, but if people buy them and they don't get the same price, they don't care. They don't care if it's cheaper. They don't care if it's faster service. They don't care, all that kind of stuff. They want to know that if they send in a book and it gets a grade, that they're going to get the same price as they would at CGC. If you're sending someone a $10,000 book, a $5,000 book, and who cares what the grade is, if you get it in and you can't sell it for the same, if you're selling, think about that, a $10,000 book, that means if you're getting 15% less, that means you're selling for $8,500 versus the CGC equivalent of the same grade for $10,000. So it doesn't matter if it's cheaper. I think their rates are very comparable. One thing that they did do, and I noticed CGC is doing, is one thing that's great about PSA is they do this thing for like basically people that sell in bulk, And if you send them 20 or more cards, they will give you basically a price reduction. So if you send them in bulk, they give you price bulking. So I think a card is about $25 to send them. But if you send them in bulk, 20 or more, it's $20 a card. So you're saving, a fifth off of that. So that's pretty nice. They're going to do that for comics. And I noticed that CGC is going to do that. So competition is good. And PSA is a big, big player. They're a big, big player. So this is going to be good. I think PSA is going to make some adjustments on their case, the things I'll mention. And I think grading is fine. Their grading this is a 9.6. But here's the thing. I've gotten books from CGC and people send, because I'm a consignment center, and I'm like, this is like a 9.0. And I'm not talking about little books like this. I'm talking, I had a big book, like a Spider-Man 129, and they graded it, and like Venom and Spider-Man 300s, where they'll grade them like 9.6s and 9.8s. And I'm looking at this book, and I'm like, this is like, if I crack this out and resent it in, it'd be like an 8.0 or a 9.0. Like, yeah. So it can happen with everyone. But I think they really looked at these books really hard, because being, the first one, and they gave it a just grade on all the stuff. So sometimes when I send stuff in, I'm hoping, and I'll put like, it's like wishful thinking. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. And I did, when I do my resub videos, I talk about, it's like, I look at a book, and a book could be like, let's pretend it's a 9.4. It has maybe a 25% chance of getting a 9.6, 25% chance of getting, a 9.2. And then let's say it has 5 to 10% above or below that one. And then like 1% chance above and below that one. So if I think something is a 9.4 and I get it in, it's a 9.0, I know that I just rolled the dice and I got like one of the worst it could possibly get. Meaning I got a 5% chance of getting a bad grade of a 9.0. Kind of like when you open a pack. So if I send it again, that means I have a greater chance of getting a 9.2 or a 9.4 or maybe even a 9.6. So sometimes you roll that dice and you get that 1 in 100 chance and you get that 9.8. That's how it works. This is like a rough thing. That's not like science, backed by science, but that's kind of how I look at things. Like whenever you send in a book, most likely it's going to get what you thought, but there's a chance that it can get above or below it, but then there's like a slim chance it could get way below or way above. So let's see how they sell. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer any questions I can about these. Again, you can go to PSA and you can see their books and consign with them, or sorry, not consign, send their books to get graded with them. They're going to be accepting consignments. I don't know their booth number. I'll be there Thursday. If you see me, feel free to say hi. I know some people like, I don't want to bug you. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I like meeting people. I like saying hi. And it's fun. It's fun to meet people that watch my channel. So, sorry, this is a very, 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 very long video. I'll try to get this up and get the pictures up with a lot of them. And yeah, have a good day.